Greetings, my name is Cassandra Shaw, and I am with No Struggle, No Success Reentry Program. Let's talk. October is Let's Talk Month. And Planned Parenthood explained during Let's Talk Month each year, young people and parents are encouraged to communicate with one another about sexuality. Sexuality includes relationships, bodies, and body image, reproduction, gender and sexual orientation, sexual behavior, and preventing pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases and infections. Let's Talk Month is really an opportunity to build a new trust muscle in your relationship with your child. Research shows that children get their sexual values from their parents and caregivers. When parents talk to their young person often and regularly about sex and relationships, young people are less likely to take risks with their sexual health and are more likely to be healthy and safe. Parents can communicate their values with their child and at the same time provide factual and evidence based information. Having conversations over time instead of having the talk takes pressure off of you and your child and sends the message that sexuality is important enough to talk about often and it's a normal part of life. The most important thing is to make it really clear to your child that they can ask you questions or come to you for support without fear of shame or judgment. Talk often. Everyday life provides opportunities and teachable moments about sexuality. Be direct when topics come up. Here's some moments to consider. When you see unrealistic portrayals of or over sexualized bodies, when media mentions of sex and relationships, or music or podcasts or social media mention sex or relationships, when you or someone you know is pregnant, or if you see ads about pads or tampons, birth control, condoms, or PrEP. When these topics come up, ask open ended questions. Avoid yes or no questions because they'll stop conversations before they even start. Here's some possible conversation question starters. What do you know about how pregnancy happens? Or what do you think about the fact that that celebrity is photoshopped to look different than they do in real life? Or what would you do if someone you were dating started acting like that character on this TV show that we're watching? Be open and listen. Don't worry if you're just getting started talking about sex and relationships. Even if your child is older, now is a good time to start. Just don't try to play catch up all at once. That can be overwhelming. It's better to have lots of little talks over time. So you can talk about anatomy and puberty. So elementary, middle school age, talk about body image and puberty, provide books and check in with them, asking them questions about what they learned. And if anything is confusing, you can answer any questions that they have. And then you want to check in often about what's going on with them, with in school and peers, their interests. Ask them how they feel about relationships and help guide them through challenges that they may be facing. And when they get a little older, ask them about crushes and relationships. Ask them how they think they will know when they're ready to have sex. And include the responsibilities of sex, like emotional attachments, sexually transmitted infections, and unintended pregnancies. Just remember to be open and listen and correct any misinformation and fill in any gaps in their knowledge. And if you or your child gets embarrassed when talking about this stuff, it's normal. So remind yourself and your child that it's okay to be embarrassed. Yet there's nothing to be ashamed of because sexuality is normal. It's a normal part of life and it's worth exploring early and often with factual information. And if you don't know something, it's okay. You can look it up. You can look it up alone, or you can look it up together with your child and let them know that you're glad they asked you a question that you don't know and that you can research it together. Stay involved in the day to day. Talking about their interests and being present can help them feel comfortable talking about relationships and sex. They may tell you stories about their friends and ask you questions and ask your opinion. As your young person builds relationships with their peers, they look to you for guidance on the complicated matters. Parents want the best for their young person, and that includes them being healthy and safe. It's important to talk often about life experiences and use them as teachable moments. Remember to ask open ended questions and listen and correct any misinformation. You want to stay clear of judgment, yet set clear boundaries and expectations. And this will minimize a disconnect and keep the messaging clear. You want to keep them talking. Sexuality is lifelong learning and a lifelong conversation. Normalizing talking about sex and relationships encourages safety and establishes values. A reminder before we go, open enrollment for medical insurance starts on November 1st. If you need insurance or you need to change your insurance plan, November 1st, you are able to enroll and make changes to your plan. If you would like more tips about how to talk to your young person about sex and relationships, you can schedule an individual health education session by contacting me by email or contacting your community worker. Health education is in support of reacclimating physically, mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, and socially. Always remember, please be kind to yourself, take gentle care, and always be well. Here's some additional resources to check out from the information that was provided in this presentation, as well as some further information and tips for talking to your young people about sex and relationships.